And welcome to the Cardinals Nest 2.0. This is the show where we interview student athlete alumni of St. Mary's University, relive their past as a student athlete, and get caught up with what they're doing now. I'm Dean Beckman, one of the hosts for Cardinals Nest 2.0. I'm the faculty athletics representative. My co-host is Donny Nadeau, the sports information director. Donny, the last several weeks now, we have been rolling through this spring's Hall of Fame inductees, and you will be one of them as well. And we interviewed you, we interviewed the other Hall of Fame inductees. Last but not least, certainly, is Jacke Huegel from the class of 2003, softball player. So Jacke, welcome to Cardinals Nest 2.0. It's great to have you on.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
And I'm glad, Dean, I'm glad you prefaced that by saying last, but definitely not least, because nobody is a better example of who should be in the Hall of Fame than Jacke. What an outstanding career she had. And you know, I know I got to tag along as they won their national championship in 2000. And there isn't anybody more deserving of getting into the Hall than Jacke. So on behalf of myself and the athletics department, congratulations, Jacke.
Thank you. And same to you, Donny. You're very deserving of it as well. So congrats.
So when you found out you were being inducted in the Hall of Fame, what went through your mind?
Oh, I was definitely surprised. But I remember getting the phone call. Actually, Jen Miller had called me first or whatever. And I was like, why is Winona calling me? Like you just still kind of recognize the phone numbers for Winona. And so I was kind of thrown off or whatever. But yeah, it's definitely an honor, but definitely surprised or whatever. You know, when you first get that phone call, it's like, wow, you know, it's quite an honor though.
That's one of those where you didn't recognize the number, but you get glad you picked up, right?
I don't even know if I did pick up, to be honest. I might have had to call back.
Might have had to call back. But, you know, Jacke, yeah, I'm sure it always is a surprise when you get that great phone call. But at the same time, did it cause some reflection on your part at everything that you accomplished to the point where you were asked and told you're going to be in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, absolutely. You know, after being told that or whatever, you start kind of going down memory lane again, you know, reliving the memories, talking to friends and former teammates and everything. And I think even Donny asked me for some pictures. So I had to go dig out some old photo albums and oh my gosh, yeah, it was fun to live, you know, all the way through freshman year, sophomore year, all the way through senior year. And even just seeing a lot of pictures and stuff from the national championships and the 2 regional tournaments. Yeah, brought back a lot of memories. It was a lot of fun.
Well, let's go way back, Jacke.
Okay.
Even prior to freshman year, talk a little bit about how you made the decision to come to St. Mary's. What you know, what prompted you to this Iowa girl to come up to Winona, Minnesota?
Yeah, so you know, when you're in high school, you're going on college visits all over. I think it kind of came down to St. Mary's and St. Thomas, to be honest. You know, of the last 2 that I was looking at or whatever, most interested in, but. I think, you know, I knew I wanted to play softball. So knowing Coach Cheeto was there, that was obviously, you know, something that wanted me to go to St. Mary's. Obviously, my brothers went there as well, which helped in that decision. And I did know Tisha Smith, you know, I went to high school with her, played high school softball with her, and she was on the team as well. But then, of course, the campus I liked as well, like more of a small campus, not right in the city, everything like that. But just knowing the history of the St. Mary's softball program, you know, that obviously helped in the decision making a little bit as well.
And how much of an influence did Cheats have? I'm assuming that you probably talked to him often. Talk a little bit about the recruiting process that you went through.
Yeah, he called several times, or, you know, talked to him. I think I had even come and attended a game, or I stayed on campus with the Smith girls at one point or whatever, and got to kind of experience a little bit of it. But definitely he had an influence. You know, he's one of the best coaches there is in softball, you know, so to get to play with somebody that, you know, you learn so much from. I knew I would learn so much even coming out of high school. Like I was just an average athlete, I would say, you know, but he really breaks down the fundamentals. I was not an all-state softball player or anything in high school, you know, but he really breaks down, you know, the fundamentals, and you like learn so much from him. So, and I had always heard that, but until you actually get to play for him, you know,
just an average softball player. Yeah,
Considering
okay,
you ended up with a batting average over 400 for your career. If you were average in high school, you definitely got coached up and certainly excelled here at college. Jackie, your freshman year, your team won the national championship. You had to think, wow, this college softball thing's pretty easy, right? What were your thoughts after winning the national championship as a freshman?
Oh, well, unbelievable at first, when you think about it. I mean, being out in Salem, Virginia, like it was hard to believe at first, that that's just what happened. Because every day you did your best. You put those cleats on, your uniform on. You were always going to play your best game of ball. So it was kind of unbelievable. But, something that you knew too that would be hard to live up to every single year. There's so much good competition in Division III softball, even just in the MIAC. But I mean, I remember even just stepping foot my freshman year onto campus, going all the way back to fall ball. And I can't even remember at that time if it was 7 Saturdays or 7 days you had with the coach. It might have changed by now. But that first weekend, like being on the field, I want to say like Saturday might have been like 11 hours and Sunday might have been like 10 hours or something. And I was just like, oh man, like, do I even want to do this? Like, I mean, my first weekend on campus, I'm on the field for like 25 hours or something. And but it all paid off in the end, like all the hard work, everything you learn, and just even all the friendships that you make throughout playing college sports is pretty awesome too.
I thought was pretty neat, Jackie, is in May, we did celebrate the 20th year of winning that national championship. We had, I think everybody from that team was on that Zoom, which was really fun. I mean, I enjoyed it. I couldn't believe it went for 2.5 hours. But the thing that I always noticed, especially with that team, and really any team that John coached, is it was all business. I mean, you guys took the field, and it was, there was no cheering. There was no set cheers if somebody hit a single or whatever it is. I mean, you guys were all business, and he kind of instilled that right away, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. It was like you put that uniform on and those cleats on. It was exactly like you said. It was all business. Like you worked hard in practice. You came to the field that game day. You had a job to do. But then afterwards, or like off the field, then that's when you still built those relationships and had fun. But it was exactly like you're saying, game face on when it was game time. So I even remember, Donny, going back to the national championship. I remember even when we would be doing warm-ups in Salem, Virginia, just like we were there during warm-ups. It was like full-time business, like a full warm-up. Like we had just as many fans watching our warm-ups than there were watching the games.
And she's 100% right. And I remember sitting there, I was basically in the press box, which the bleachers were right below. And you're right. I mean, the people that were commenting too, it's just like, wow, watch them. I mean, I remember John used to have to go out to pitch batting practice to you guys with like 3 shirts because he would just be soaked by the time he was done. It was something. I've been doing this for 26 years and I've never seen a group of individuals who were so set on one goal. And really, I mean, it was really neat to see you accomplish that goal. And I mean, my favorite story of the whole thing was when you won, nobody did anything. There were no gloves flying in the air. There was no, jumping up. It was just like you got into this huddle going, okay, when's the next game? It was just, and then when you guys left, and I think when it finally set in that, oh my God, we won the national championship. Well, then there was celebration, but it was impressive to watch you guys play.
Yeah, I would agree. Exactly. Like you said, when we won, it wasn't like there was a big celebration. It was almost like it was just another game, even though it wasn't just another game. It was the national championship. And
let's talk about somebody's at bat that the ball happened to go all the way over the fence freshman year in the national championship. Can you just talk a little bit about that, about what that, I mean, I'm sure you weren't thinking about it at the time, but here you are, a freshman, and you're launching a home run in the national championship game. That had to be a pretty cool moment.
Yeah, I actually remember, I don't even know what the count was when I hit it, but I remember like a pitch or two before that, I had an outside like belt high pitch, and that was like my favorite pitch as a freshman, an outside pitch, drive it to right center field, and I let it go. I didn't even swing at it. And I remember being like, oh man, that was my pitch. And then, I don't know, at some point I did hit an inside pitch over the fence, which is not me to hit an inside pitch.
Right.
Normally I'm an outside pitch hitter and like going to the right center. So when I first didn't swing at it, I was like, I think I was just probably froze up. I don't know. It was first inning, the national championship game or whatever. So I was a little surprised on that myself that it went over, but pretty exciting,
Yes,
to get on the board early
absolutely.
on. So
Well, Jackie, we know that your family has always been huge supporters of you, and they're such big supporters, we couldn't even keep them out of the interview. We have Ben Huegel joining us now, your brother, former St. Mary's University student athlete himself, former St. Mary's University professor as well. Ben Huegel, thank you for joining us. I bet you'd like to say a little congratulations to your sister, Jackie.
Thanks for having me, Jackie. Congratulations on your Hall of Fame induction. Very, very happy for you.
thanks. This is a surprise for sure. Did not know.
We're just full of surprises, Jackie. We're just full of surprises.
I
Benji,
know
it's
you
good to
are.
see you. It's been
You too,
too
Donny.
long. It's good to see your face, and you know what? Your sister done good, and she should be very proud of what she accomplished.
Absolutely, just a fantastic career, and even more importantly, has done a fantastic job after she's graduated too, and everything.
So, Ben, I want you to fess up. Were you just a little bit jealous when you heard the news? Just a little bit? I know you were happy for her, but just a little bit jealous?
Maybe a little bit, but I trust that her qualifications greatly exceed mine. I think that we can rest assured that that's definitely the case.
Ben,
You
what
can
did
say
you think?
too.
I'm just curious, Ben, what did you think when you heard Jackie would be attending St. Mary's University for the first time?
Oh man, that goes way back. It was very interesting because I'm 4 years older than Jackie, and so I was never around home as she was going through high school and everything, and so we were follow along as far as high school sports and home for break and different things like that. But when I was a senior in college, she was a senior in high school, and so I don't really recall the decision a whole lot. I do remember her coming up to visit and everything, but at the time too, with Coach Cheetah running the softball program, and Jackie wanted to play softball, I really didn't think there was any other place that she was actually going to go to, just because she had built up such a great rapport, and Tisha Smith was at St. Mary's at the time as well, and so all those connections I think just made a pretty natural fit.
Jackie,
Yeah.
how about your brother leading the way in terms of St. Mary's? We kind of knew he was coming, so he was a little late though. So when I asked about people that influenced you, I was hoping that was when he was going to show up. But how much influence did he have, and what was it like when granted he was not attending St. Mary's when you were here, but what was it like that you had somebody that you could follow in their footsteps in terms of the school itself?
Yeah, I think it was great that both Ben and Brad were there. I mean, we're a close family. We do a lot together or whatever. So having family on campus and, helping show you the ropes, believe it or not, I even had Ben as a professor. 2 years, was it, Ben? I can't remember. That was a little odd, I'll say. 1 year?
One class, I think.
Okay. That was a little odd, having your brother as your professor. But having him on campus, it was nice, just you could go talk to them if you needed to, or they could attend games as well. Or, if our parents came up when I was a freshman, Brad was a junior. So, sometimes they could hit both games at the same time. That was pretty cool too.
Ben had brought up not only were you successful on the softball field, but also a successful career now. So Jackie, kind of tell us what you're doing now. It seems like accounting and CPA sort of runs in the family a little bit, huh?
Does run in the family, yeah. So I am a partner at a CPA firm here in Minneapolis. I focus all my work in governmental accounting and auditing. So all the school districts and local governments in the state of Minnesota have to have an audit to get their financial reporting turned into the state to get all their state aid money. So that's what our firm does. We have a big governmental practice as well as a tax practice. I don't do the tax side though, but all in the governmental, working with local school districts and local governments. So I love what I do though. It's a great group of people to work with. just like softball though, you put in the hours, you know, there's hard work at times, but it also pays off on the other end. So
Do you still swing a bat?
oh, I do not still swing a bat.
No.
I did for, I don't know, I think a couple of years after I graduated, I still played fast pitch up here in the cities. And then several years I did play slow pitch, but it's probably been 6-7 years maybe. And, you know, your reactions just get slow over time, or playing slow pitch. They don't even drag the field. So there's bat hops. And I've resorted to golfing and, you know.
I was going to say, you swing a golf club pretty well.
I swing a golf club, yes.
I get the feeling, Ben, that Jackie does everything pretty well. I mean, I don't think there's anything she doesn't do well.
It's kind of funny when we're out on the golf course and, you know, we're just out casually having a good time, but you can see that competitive streak start to come into play when the ball starts to go sideways a little bit.
It runs in the family.
Very sure.
But you gotta remember when we were growing up, I mean, there was 4 of us. So Ben was the oldest, then there was Brad, me, and then Christy was our younger sister. And we would play sports all the time together. So whether it was 2-on-2 basketball, or we had our own made up 8-0 softball game, you probably remember that, where the girls were always up to bat and the boys were always defense. And we had our makeshift softball field in our front yard, and we played all the time.
We did.
Well, now,
we did. And
your,
even in
your younger sister went to St. Thomas, right, Christy?
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Yeah. We're all disappointed in her. But...
Yeah, so am I.
Just kidding.
Jackie, I wonder if you would have a favorite Coach Cheetah story for us at all.
Oh gosh, put me on the spot here.
We kind of talked
You don't have
about,
to play for him anymore, so you can say whatever you want.
we talked about his intense, you know, pregame workouts and things like that, but anything on a bus trip somewhere or anything in the dugout during a game that is kind of sticks in your head at all?
Yeah, I don't know if it was one specific story, but I do remember there would be times, whether it was in a huddle or in the dugout, and he would just get going and going, you know, like to getting all of us fired up and going. And it was kind of like, whoa, like you said, he's very intense. Like he could come in and get everyone going and riled up or whatever. And sometimes it was just like kind of the opposite demeanor of me at times, you know, like, but yeah, I can't think of one specific one.
Yeah, that's all right.
Maybe the more we talk, it will.
I can think of one story with in your sophomore year, if I remember correctly, and it was Coach Cheetah's first year at St. Thomas, and it was the first matchup against St. Mary's and St. Thomas. And if I remember correctly, Dad asked you a story or asked you about, you know, how do you feel about that or whatever. And there was one specific pitch that you struggled with a little bit.
Inside.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, low and inside.
Yeah.
What happened? And what happened?
Well, that was high and inside, the pitch I hit over the fence against them, but it was an inside pitch.
Yep.
It
You're
probably
right.
felt good, didn't it?
It did feel good. I almost felt like it was a tomahawk, like it was probably higher than I should have been swinging at. You're right.
I have to ask, have you started thinking about your speech? Because obviously you're going to have to give an acceptance speech into the Hall of Fame. Have you started trying to put some thoughts together?
I don't have anything formally. I've been trying to think about it, but no, not exactly. I mean, I thought it's broad, like we've talked about, like you start thinking all the memories over the years and all the friendships that you've built and all that. But I haven't actually sat down to write or think about how I'm going to say anything yet. But I got it this weekend.
I've opened the Word document and it just sits there, and then I close it. And then I
well, it's hard to put into words, right?
There.
Like,
yeah,
there's just so many memories and
it's
so
hard.
many things.
It's
I don't
really hard.
Mm-hmm. Have you started yours on, or?
No.
No. Yeah. It's hard.
And I don't know if you had heard, Donny also will be getting inducted into the Hall of Fame this year too. So
I had, and very well.
I couldn't have picked a better person to get in with. That's for sure. That's for sure.
I wish it could have been in person, but
I know.
Gotta roll with it. You know, it would be fun to come back to Winona.
That's a great way to put it too, Jackie, is that, you know, I mean, this pandemic has just been a mess with everything. And, you know, it's not the same as being in person, but you know what? I think it'll be pretty cool. We'll be the only ones ever hopefully ever inducted into the Sports Hall of Fame during a pandemic. So, we'll look at it that way and be happy about it.
Yeah, I'm actually tomorrow too. I'm doing a smooth virtual visit with the accounting classes. So
Really?
normally we come down to visit the auditing or accounting class, and we can't be on site this year, on campus, I should say. So doing a virtual visit with one of the auditing classrooms tomorrow.
So Benji, as long as we have you on, how about your favorite Jackie story? And it doesn't have to be from her time at St. Mary's.
Oh man,
Come on, you gotta have some dirt on her.
That's a good one. Well, so I'll give you. I'll try to give you one St. Mary's one and one non-St. Mary's one. So my one St. Mary's one, I believe Jackie, it was your freshman year, and you guys were on your spring trip down to St. Louis, and I remember getting the phone call from my parents, where in one of the games Jackie had fouled off a pitch that was coming inside, and literally, fastball or whatever, right down the middle and off the bat and directly to her nose. And, went through the whole process. And I remember Dad telling the story how they were going to the doctor and stuff like that. And, really probably, if you think about it, probably one of the worst injuries you could ever think of having as a baseball or softball player, because of, not just the physical aspect of it, but the emotional aspect of getting back in the batter's box. And I can't remember how long, Jackie, you were out, but it wasn't very long, and you were back out there and you had the face mask on. And then after a little while, you got irritated because it was hard to look down with the face mask. And so you just ditched the face mask and away you went.
Well, Cheetah probably wouldn't let her be out of the lineup. It's like, no, you're okay. Get back in there.
Yeah, that was actually junior year.
Was it junior? Okay, I thought it was freshman year, but
year.
junior.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, we were down in St. Louis playing against Wartburg in a tournament. Yeah, ended up at 22 stitches right across here. Yep. So,
Ben, get us caught up on what you're doing now.
So I'm currently at St. Norbert College in De Pere, Wisconsin. I'm teaching accounting here. This is my 7th year here at St. Norbert's. And so my wife, Joanna, teaches at the Foxview Intermediate School. And my daughter, Kyton, is now 14 years old. And so she was just a little baby, when I was still coaching baseball and everything. And she's 14 years old now. And still enjoy playing golf and everything. I'm not coaching baseball or anything at this point. It's been a little while since I've done that. I kind of got to the point where I realized that I enjoyed my summers a little bit more than spending it on a baseball field. So, but definitely miss it, except for the cold days where it's 38 degrees and windy, and we're still trying to figure out a way to play a baseball game.
Now, Dean, just so you know that Benji still has a very important role with the St. Mary's baseball team. And that is, with about maybe 2.5 weeks left in the season, Winnicky will get in touch with them so Benji can figure out all the tiebreaker scenarios to see how or when or how we're going to get into the playoffs, or when we're going to get into the playoffs, how many games we need to win. And I'm not kidding you, it's a process, but only Benji can do it.
Very much. Unfortunately, Nick's done such a great job that process has now turned into what seed are they going to be instead of whether they're going to get in the playoffs. So,
Absolutely.
So I'm a little less uptight as I'm going through the process, because there's that comfort that they're in the playoffs already.
Jackie, any coaching for you, either in the past or in the future?
No, I haven't coached at all since my little Alta Vista Little League days, back when I was in high school, coaching our little town Little League team. But no, especially with my job, being busy in the spring and the fall, it just doesn't work well. And I'm with Benj too. I enjoy my summers at the cabin and hanging out on the lake and having that time. So I enjoy going to watch games if I can make them, but no, I guess I don't really have any plans to coach anytime soon or anything.
Well, Donny, we're almost out of time. Any final thoughts or questions for either Jackie or Ben?
I'll just reiterate what I said earlier. I mean, Jackie, I'm so happy for you. I mean, you had such a phenomenal career here. And, one of the things that's neat about me getting inducted is that I got to literally witness you guys play. So I know how deserving these nominees are. And those 4 years that you were here were so much fun. And, just reliving it, last May when we were all together. And
Yeah.
then, you know, today, again, it's just, it makes you realize what a special person you are and what a phenomenal player you were. So again, congratulations on your selection. And I'm really looking forward to the virtual ceremony.
Oh, thank you very much, Donnie. Like I said, you're just as deserving of it too. So you always do an amazing job at everything. So congrats to you as well, and I appreciate it.
All right, Jacke
Benji, you're just
Huegel.
okay, you know. I miss you though. It's so good to see you.
Jacke, congratulations on the Hall of Fame induction. Ben, thank you very much for crashing the party. That was a lot of fun to surprise Jacke a little bit.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I enjoyed it. And it's good to see everybody. And again, Donnie, congratulations to you. I think about the time I started at St. Mary's, that was about the time that all of the digital aspect of SID work was starting to take off. And my dad would routinely talk about how wonderful your coverage was and how awful the rest of the conference was. They've caught up now to you, but Donnie, you were a trendsetter, and a lot of St. Mary's athletes have a lot to be thankful for all of your efforts.
Thanks, Benj.
You're welcome.
All right, that's going to do it for Cardinals Nest 2.0. Thanks for watching.